Good morning, all. Welcome. It's been a couple of weeks. It's Christmas time, and welcome to Rugbyheartland TV as we do a bit of a Christmas wrap on rugby in New Zealand and around the world. But this time, instead of me doing all the chatting and all the blaring and all the bullshit, I'd like to welcome my partner in crime for 2024, Mike Sheehan. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, good, Rabs. How you going? It's been a while.
It's been a couple of weeks. And then also, we have to bring on the one and only, the Roadie. Hello, Roadie. How are you? Oh, fuck. Canterbury. Oh, go Italy.
Italy. At the moment, they probably beat them.
Yeah, well, first off, Merry Christmas, gentlemen. And secondly, we'll be bringing a lot more fun and bullshit throughout 2025. But hey, should we do a wrap on 2024? You haven't had much to say lately, Rhodey. How did you find Canterbury's performance in the NPC this year? I'm sitting back and letting you go.
I mean, the NPC and Canterbury Rugby as a whole, I mean, now I'm not in Canterbury. I'm not fully aware with what's going on, but it's like the first five factories had the tap turned off. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think about for how long we're going right back to Wayne Smith. They've had great number 10s coming out of that province, and they had a couple of reasonable ones in the NPC team this year. But the Crusaders having to import guys, I just don't get that. What's happened? The only thing I can say is that Brad Moa coming back to assist with the Crusaders. He's a former Old Boys player and coach, and that was the first five factory. Maybe he's got someone in there he's going to bring through, because it's got me beat. That was their weakness in the playmaker role, I thought, in both NPC and Super Rugby. But yeah, some other standout players. The fullback, I can't think what his name was. The NPC fullback.
For Canterbury?
Yeah, I was very surprised he didn't make a Super Rugby team. I can't remember his name. But, you know, he was...
I'll see if I can quickly look it up, but carry on.
Yeah, you know, Michael probably know who I'm talking about, but it was like, weird. I just couldn't believe he hadn't made the Super Rugby team, that guy. I can't think of his name now. Damn it.
Well, you did make the semi-finals, of course, but who we got there? Hutchinson,
that's the guy. If he didn't make the Crusaders, I was surprised someone else didn't pick him up, to be fair. He played outstandingly. Good loose forwards. Again, there's a whole lot of good loose forwards coming out of Canterbury. But yeah, that first five position at the moment, I don't know, seems to be a weakness. And obviously Scott Robertson's identified that as a weakness nationwide, because which we'll probably talk about later, because he's looking to try and bring back guys from overseas. So yeah, don't know what's happened. They've turned the tap off.
Okay. So he's not going to say they came nowhere this year. So, Mike, what about your mid-Canterbury team? You might as well keep it Canterbury-ized at the moment, seeing you're both Southlanders, South Islanders, Mainlanders. You made the final. Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah. Did we?
Yeah. Yeah. You did. In teams one. So, performance, I did have mid-Canterbury in my top four for 2024. Can they go one better in 2025 and knock off one of the top three?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I think last season was one of our, this season was just gone, was been one of our better seasons in a number of years, and I think all credit must go to the coaching staff. They seem to have got a good group of players that have gelled together, and they've put the performances out on the field that they can be really proud of, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I suppose, how can I put this? We're going to see a lot of movement around the Heartland regions next year. Wairarapa Bush are going to have a new coach. Poverty Bay are going to have a new coach. Unsure about, I think Buller's still fine. Thames Valley have announced Dave Harrison and company are going to continue in 2025, so they're going to be strong. I heard nothing out of Wanganui at the moment. East Coast, our good friend Kahu Tamatea has been reappointed, so East Coast could be a threat in 2025. And West Coast, I'm unsure where they'll be at. I'm just unsure. I have heard nothing out of the officers there. And yeah, it's sort of like South Canterbury. Is Nigel Walsh coming back? That's the big question for 2025. He stepped down, but they've inside sources have said to me he may have reapplied with a new coaching squad. So that'll be an interesting one to see. Horowhenua, well, they keep promising, but they don't deliver. So that'll be an interesting one to see how they go this year in 2025. But hey, it's interesting how when we've been watching the reviews over the last couple of weeks on TV, how they've been saying the only thing that saved New Zealand rugby in 2024 is Heartland. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's not a bad statement, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
the other day, Kaka, sorry, Winger. Roadie.
So, I mean, I see, I liken the situation that New Zealand rugby's in at the moment to where South Africa was a couple of years ago, right? They pulled out of the Super Rugby for a reason. Now, what is their top competition? The Curry Cup.
Curry Cup.
Right? And I honestly think that's where we're at. Look, and I have said this to you for 20 plus years. Who is the country that benefits the most out of Super Rugby?
Australia.
Of course. South Africa saw that, right? South Africa saw that and got out because their teams were starting to suffer, right? When I say, you look at our Super Rugby teams now. Yeah, we've got some strong ones, but there's a whole lot of becoming scratch squads. Yeah, let's go back, and people will say to me, "Oh, you're living in the past, Roadie." I sat last night and watched some 1996 NPC stuff, a couple of second division games that I've converted to DVD. Bloody beautiful, right? Let's go back to Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, right? Let's do what the South Africans have done with the Curry Cup. Make it mean something. They're going about the crowd sizes. Well, it's because people can't get it behind a super team, but you can get behind your province, right? You can always get behind your province. South Africa saw that. People get behind Eastern Province and Western Province, Northern Transvaal, right? We've got to say to the Aussies, you're only fourth or fifth sport in Australia, and we don't care. Fend for yourselves, or put your team in the third division in New Zealand and try and earn promotion.
Yeah, well, the good thing about that is, of course, we won't have the Melbourne Rebels in next year. Why they didn't bring in the Japanese or another actually island-based team from, say, Tonga or something like that. But now they're looking at expanding it to USA. It's like, really? And the thing is, though, now that Melbourne Rebels aren't there, of course, all the teams have sucked up all the players that were Rebel players. Yeah. So what's going to happen now?
Haven't I said that to you for years? When was the last time Australia was truly strong at Super Rugby? When they had three teams, right? Three teams. Because what they do now is they've got 4 or 5 teams. They spread all their top talent around, and you've got 12 or 13 good players, and then we just get a couple of leagueies and a couple of old has-been Kiwis and Poms and throw them in the team to make the numbers up. And you've got a couple of easy beat teams, right?
Yeah. So what's happened now is apparently half the Melbourne Rebels have gone to the Waratahs.
Yeah, that happens. It happens every year. Yeah, I mean, it's time to just say to them, look, guys, you need to
buck it up.
We need to say we're looking after New Zealand rugby. See, you have a look at the problem I have with New Zealand rugby this year is where's the pathway from the provinces to the All Blacks?
There isn't one.
No. They've got guys who are contracted. Here, have a contract, and you can lose form, and you can be playing whatever, but you're on a contract, so you play, right? There's no longer any incentive for the kid in Wairarapa Bush, Marty Berry, to have a good season and make an All Black trial and make the All Blacks, right? It's just they don't care about the provinces or the heartland, right? It's lip service.
It's funny you mentioned Marty Berry. I believe he watches the show. So if he is watching the show, Marty,
he was always one of those stories. It was always one of those stories that struck me as there's a guy come out of one of the smaller provinces and made it to the All Blacks. But that can never happen now, unless you get a contract and go to an academy. But
yeah. So we are doing a lot of talking. And if you have any questions, if you are watching, I know it's 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. Cricket's not on, so you can be watching us. Throw comments in, and we'll see if we can answer them. But yeah, no, the province thing, it is. It's sort of like, as far as I'm aware, 2025 could be the last year of the current NPC format, because I do believe Bunnings still have a contract for that for 2025, but there have been many a meeting, like plenty donut tours during test matches in Auckland for all the CEOs to go to, and I do believe that I think they will be looking at something in 2026. Don't quote me on that, but I don't know. You read between the lines, and that's the only way I can see it. So. In saying that, what division would Mid-Canterbury be in, Mike?
Oh, hopefully Division 2.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you think they would rank that then? Are they going to go by, like they do in English football, by crowd sizes? I mean, literally, to get if you win the English Championship, you have to apply. You don't get promoted. You have to apply to go into the Premiership because you have to tick all these boxes of ground size, money in the bank, and all this rubbish. So straight away, you'd say third division would be West Coast, Buller, Poverty Bay, East Coast, King Country.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then maybe Mid-Canterbury, South, or wouldn't be South Canterbury. Wairarapa Bush, maybe third division. They haven't been doing too well lately. And then in the second division, you'd have South Canterbury, Wanganui, Thames Valley, Northland, counties. It doesn't really matter because Wellington will win the lot.
You wish.
And here we go. Our first comment for the day. Hello, Josh. West Coast, straight to Division 1. I love it. Yeah,
here's a question for you. Here's a question for you, though. If we say we're going to get rid of the Super Rugby, to hell with that, and the Aussies come to us and go, "Oh, gee, we really want to play with you guys in the NPC." Where do they start? Do they think they're going to walk straight into Division 1? Because quite frankly, I would say you start playing in Division 3 like North Harbour did and you earn your spot. So New South Wales, you play in Division 3. That'd create a controversy, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you what does create a controversy, and it's annoying the bejesus out of me. There's a documentary on TVNZ about the Chiefs, and they're calling it Taniwha Unleashed. Now I'm still waiting for Northland to come out and go, hang on, since when has the Chiefs been known as the Taniwha?
That's what I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you that. Yeah. Why are they the Taniwha? Because Northland used to be part of the Chiefs when they started, remember? And then they changed it back. They changed it.
Well, we've lost Mike at the moment. So hang on, he's going for a third phone.
No, I just had someone ring. I just had someone ring me on Messenger and it fucked the whole thing up. But that's all right.
Oh, that's okay. I've got you here. So, but you saying what you're saying there makes a good point. The reason I just brought that Taniwha thing up is they're going on about how, it's all about the club, right? The Hurricanes, welcome to the club. The Blues, we're in the Blues club.
I didn't know they were a club. I thought they were franchises.
100%. 100%. The mixture of players from the province, right?
Yeah.
So if they are now promoting themselves as clubs, and they get rid of Super Rugby, which we know they're not going to, but if they got rid of Super Rugby, why not do it like this? They have all these development teams, right?
Yep.
So you got the Hurricanes development team, the Blues development team. I'm going to go through the lot. The Chiefs development team, the Crusaders development team, and the Highlanders development team, right?
Yep.
They're all kids. No pathway. They're just brought straight from school, thrown in the development team, put all the development teams in a third division NPC competition.
Yep.
They've done it with in the soccer with the Wellington Phoenix. The Wellington Phoenix reserves, doesn't matter where they finish here in the central region of central football, they automatically will qualify for the National League every year, right?
Yep.
So Wellington actually has a chance of having like 4 teams in the National Football League, right?
Right.
So why not then just say to these guys, okay, we need 8 teams in Division 3, right? If a team is good enough, being Buller, Thames, Poverty Bay, whoever, if they're good enough to beat the development sides and win the 3rd division or 4th division even, they could then get promoted. If one of the development teams don't win the championship, well, that's fine. They don't get. They can win the they can win the division, but they won't get promoted because it is a development division. And so what will happen there is that these teams that are playing will get to play East Coast, will get to play Buller, right? But then what's happening to those Buller and Ngāti Porou East Coast players? They're getting seen by the coaches of the development teams for the Hurricanes, for the Crusaders. And they'll go, gee, ROADIE's pretty good. He's not too bad for a boy from bloody Sydenham, you know?
Sydenham?
I know.
I was a bus driver.
Does that make sense? And that way,
well, that's like Nabura from East Coast. You know, he fixed between East Coast and Northland.
And Northland.
Yeah, Northland. Yeah.
And Joe Royal, Auckland, Wellington, Manu Pacifica. Or what are they called?
Fletcher Carpenter, East Coast, New Zealand Sevens.
Yep. And Thames. He's actually plays his club rugby in Thames. So how that works, I don't know. He plays his club rugby in Thames, goes and plays for East Coast, and ends up in the Sevens team. But it just goes to show you there is pathways for these good players to come through. And but that's a great segue. So would you guys
it's almost like they're forgetting about Heartland and there's no one watching the Heartland talent come through or give them a chance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I agree, Mike, exactly. It's become all about contracted players, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why we ended up with the first 5 we ended up with this year and a flanker we ended up with this year in the All Blacks. Well,
that's like obviously for example, Mid Canterbury had we had three or four loan players. A couple of them were from New Brighton. One was from Tyson Bellworthy was from the Crusaders. On loan for the Heartland season. So why can't Heartland players be on loan to vice versa?
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get a bit flash with our end of season close-ups. Now I can see all your beer bottles above you there, Roadie. I thought you don't drink beer.
I don't. I just collect them. They're the Iron Maiden one. Hey, I'll go and get one.
Oh,
Mm.
number 11. You're right. I collect stuff too. My latest creation, everybody.
And the wine bottle. Cheap-ass wine bottle. They just wrapped it in paper.
Yeah,
Well, this is a one-of-a-kind worth millions.
Yeah, one of a kind brew. Brew, and they just all they did was wrap it in paper.
Oh, I know.
Mm.
So anyway, so I quite like that. So I'll keep that going at the moment. If you don't like it, please comment because we're right in everyone's faces. So you're saying about the Heartland try of the year. You had Kate Mavia-Colo from the Black Ferns, Jed Melbourne from North Harbour, and Latrell Smiler A. Keong from King Country, who took it out with that amazing dive try against West Coast in the Lahore Cup final. It was a great dive, but he only had to sort of dive a foot and then got it into the corner. Would you call that the try of the year, even though it was voted by the public?
Well, if Jarrell Hema had got a couple of steps closer to that corner, he probably would have put him out. So, but he come from a long way to try and take him out, but it didn't work. But I guess so. There's probably better tries out there, but it was still a pretty good try.
Yeah. The reason I'm just going to go through who won at the Rugby Awards the other week, last week, was I think I even called it out to you, Mike, a few weeks ago to say, I bet you they've already won and all we'll do. Because remember they used to have a big fancy luncheon dinner thing in a big hall and everyone got doled up to the nines. But then ever since COVID, they've just done a stand up in the little studio thing and then said the winner is. So I finally got around because I was away camping last week. I finally had a look at it. And they went, okay, and now for the winners. And they just went, bang, 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 bang. Here are the nominees, here's the winner. Here's the nominees, here's the winner. No interviews, no nothing, no congratulations, here's a trophy. Like Ben O'Keefe, okay, don't know where, he could have been somewhere. But he got New Zealand Rugby referee. And what's he get? A picture. No interview, no insights into how he's gone this year, or anything like that. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he wasn't available. Okay, fair enough. Then they went, the Rugby Club of the Year, Green Island. Oh, we're here because you thought we were all here because to announce you as a finalist. But no, you have won. Hang on, it looked like the rugby season was still on. They announced the winner to the club like 2 months ago and said, oh, it's embargoed. You can't say anything until the 12th. But there was like 1,000 people at the club. Kids, parents, coaches. But I do have to give a shout out to Green Island being the club of the year because that is where my grandmother was born, in Green Island. So I have a connection through lineage to Green Island. So it's awesome that they've come back and become club of the year. But then, there was a couple of other awards that they gave. And the one that struck me the most went to Erin Rayner, who uses rugby as a tool for health and fitness with handicapped people, special needs, etc. And they had, and I've been in this coffee cafeteria at NZR headquarters, right? I've been in it. It's where they have the big Bledisloe Cup sitting, right? The enormous Bledisloe Cup, not Bledisloe Cup, Tri-Nations Cup, right? The first one with Sean Fitzpatrick holding it up because the English got the measurements wrong. But they're there saying, "Oh, congratulations, you're a finalist." No, you're not a finalist. You have won it. And I'm just thinking, wow, everyone's sitting in the coffee cafeteria and you've been given a trophy to say, well done. And it's always like, but then I noticed it had all the shields of past winners on it. So it's almost like, here you go. And cut. Right, can we have the trophy back and put it back in the cabinet?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
But hey, congratulations on them winning it. Don't get me wrong. But it was sort of like I was sitting there and thinking, okay, who's who? And then Dan Carter wins the Kirk Award. It's only been around for a minute, but why? I mean, it's a made-up New Zealand Rugby Players Association. We won an award. We'll call it Kirk. Okay. He's going to be the new chairman of New Zealand Rugby living in Australia. Figure that one out. He's going to get the air miles up or the Zoom calls up. But the thing is, hopefully, with his business now, he might be able to do something with New Zealand Rugby. And then, of course, they had the Kirkpatrick medal. Alexio from Wanganui got the gong this year. But then no interview with him. But they went and presented Ian Kirkpatrick, the Steinlager Silver, and gave him a replica of the medal that is given to the Player of the Year in Heartland. And they had a good chat. But what I got from that was he went, oh, yeah, I'm not in this for awards. I just want to see rugby grow. You know, like a good old-fashioned rugged rugby player, you know? He's going, oh, yeah, thank you very much. Whoopee, right? So you look at all that. Now, I said to you when these nominations came out, I'm not going to go through the lot, right? But I'm just going to say, I said the Blues would win Team of the Year. The Blues won Super Rugby Team of the Year. But Hoskins Tutu, Super Rugby Player of the Year? Please.
What was that about? Was that about us up you to Scotty Robertson, was it?
I really don't get it. How can you say that Hoskins Tutu was the Super Rugby Player of the Year? Who was yours, Mike?
Wallet Tatiti, probably.
Yeah. He got New Zealand All Black of the Year. He only got in the All Blacks because he only played a couple of games for the Blues, good enough to get in the All Blacks and then become world young, emerging talent of the year. The only New Zealander to really win anything at the World Rugby Awards. Where's Hoskins Tutu? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it just blew my mind.
What about old Vern Cotter getting Coach of the Year? That was pretty cool. They gave him a good interview too.
Well, they did. And I mean, and what's good about that is 20 years ago, he beat Auckland to win the Ranfurly Shield with Bay of Plenty.
Yeah, see, this is where it's different. Like last year when they done the awards, like I think Neil Barnes from Taranaki got Coach of the Year, and they did a big interview. He was out on his farm doing this, and having a chat. And when Siu Kikala won the Ian Kirkpatrick medal last year, they had a big thing down in Timaru, where the whole team got together and they presented it to him live on TV, and then at the same time they announced that South Canterbury got the Team of the Year, but yeah, this year it was just like it was rushed through. There was only certain people getting interviews.
Yeah, but then last year that was also pre-recorded because the show was on at like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. Yet the interview was being taken place, and you could see it was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if it's a cost-cutting thing. I honestly, I have no idea. But some of the things, I mean, Wellington Lions, to me, and even the Thames Valley Swamp Foxes, Got the nod for Team of the Year nominations. But, okay, the Blues won Super Rugby, but to give them the full sweep of a lot of the awards just blew my mind. But I'll end it with Georgia Miller, the Sevens player from South Canterbury originally. She's the big winner on the night, winning the Kelvin R. Tremaine Award. I think she deserved it. And I think it's awesome that she won it. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think she did deserve it. What was I going to say? Oh, I'll just flick back to our coach of the year. You see, even Clark Laidlaw from Wellington could have taken that out quite easily.
Yeah, well, he's done a lot for the Hurricanes, and I'm sure they will be in the mix again next year and next season. What's over there? We're all looking. Everyone's looking that way. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone's just.
Well, what about Michaela Blythe signing for the Warriors women?
Well, why?
Traitor.
Because she's not. No, she's not a traitor. She's
yes,
clever.
You go to league, you're a traitor.
Well, true, but she is still clever because she is supplementing her income. Because how many games, other than in the sevens, would the girls get? I mean, they might get 3 or 4 games with the Super Rugby all picky teams, even though now they're going to have this silly end of season New Zealand Australia final, right? Because Australia have 3 teams, we have 4 teams, or whatever it is, 5 teams, 4 teams. No, 4 teams. I forget Canterbury and Otago are merged. But she's got to find income somewhere. I mean, what about Stacey Walker? She's playing for the Brisbane Broncos. She played 2 games and got named in the NRL Women's 15 team of the year. She only played like 3 games for the Broncos. So what does that say about Women's Rugby League? If you can come in, play 3 games and get named in the team of the year.
Yeah.
Crazy. But anyhow, so what else do we have a good bitch moan about today? Okay, so talking about sevens, and I'll just quickly bring this up. So, and this is going to please a lot of people because it went nuts on our socials, and that was, and I say, well done to bring back the NPC. Great Facebook page. So he's come along and he's thought, let's give this a bit of fun. So Aotearoa, the women's, and I bet you our comments will go wild now because if it was anything like the comments in the on our shared posts for them, people went nuts. I don't know why, because everything is Aotearoa now. But then, you got Zungao for China. You've got Viti for Fiji, España, because that's how you say Spain, But the thing that bothers me here is look where New Zealand is in the men's standings. We are 6th. We've dropped. We're only ahead of Great Britain and Australia, but Spain 2nd.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they've been putting any sort of effort into it, have they?
What was that? Roadie?
I don't think New Zealand rugby's like caring about sevens as much as they used to. They just seem to be, all about the All Blacks at the moment and having to satisfy the investors.
Yeah.
The sevens are on the side.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the problem with the sevens, and Mike might agree with me here, is that you looked at the South Canterbury sevens, and they were all Fiji. What do you call it? Fijian select sides. You look at the Central sevens, and you had Wanganui, Manawatu, and Wellington. That was it, right? You look at the Northern, which was a bit better because you had most of the Northern teams all showing up, which was great. But they have to bring back the national sevens. Craig the Goldie, prime example, right? He was seen playing for West Coast at the national sevens. Who does not know Craig the Goldie?
I'm not disagreeing with you, Rabs, but it isn't going to happen, is it? As long as they've got that Silver Lake investing in the All Blacks and wanting games in the USA against France and stuff, well, it's never going to happen, is it?
No,
because you got business people running the province now, the union now. That's the issue.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But the thing is also, and I don't know when it's going to be actually opens. But I do have a little video thing here that we can quickly show, because coming up very soon. There we go. Is that we've got this coming to Christchurch, right? This is where a few days ago the new Christchurch Stadium. I am not going to call it by their sponsor name because I'm not a fan of their sponsor because they just ripped me off. But how's Eden Park? I will mention it because how's Eden Park feeling being the national stadium with this brand new stadium being built in Christchurch called One New Zealand? Do you get it?
Yeah.
But who said Eden Park was the national stadium?
Oh, Eden Park. And now apparently they're one of the top venues in the world, they've said today, right? Where they can host 60,000 people.
But they're only allowed to have 11 events a year.
I know. So the thing is, they might be able to host 60,000 people. It's a shame they can't even get 1,000 people at an NPC game. And why is that? It's too damn expensive to go. You can, I mean, so you have 11 events with Taylor Swift, Dolly Parton, Barry Manilow, Elton John, people, you know, who just go to these concerts because everyone else went, right? Yeah. You know, how do they make money? They can't be making that much money from those concerts.
No.
And now with this stadium being built in Christchurch, which looks like it's coming along brilliantly, by the way, the stadium you see there on the right, I saw that, and the first thing I thought was, wow, they're quite steep, right? And the first thing I thought of was the Millard Stanley Athletic Park.
It's not that steep.
Isn't it? Okay.
I don't think so, is it? That Millard stand was a prick of a stand.
I know. I was sitting under it during the 1996 game against Australia, and they put, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? They put a cannon went off.
I went up there.
Half the rust fell off the roof and landed right between my legs. And I'm sitting there going, damn it, if they had moved, if I had just leaned forward a little bit there, I could have sued Rugby Athletic Park for millions.
Yeah.
And then they pulled the thing down.
I was sitting in that stand in 1982 when the Shield came home.
I get stuffed. But anyway, but the reason I just quickly showed that was with the sevens.
Yeah.
You've got Forsyth Bar. You've got now going to have Christchurch Stadium, both under roof. You can play it all weekend under roof. Doesn't matter about the weather. Would that not be down there would be the perfect place to host the National Sevens again? Because teams like Buller, West Coast, Tasman, Marlborough, Mid-Canterbury, the whole lot, who don't have any money, at least they can get to those games. The North Islanders have got a bit more cash in their pocket, sort of.
Yeah.
It's just flying straight into Christchurch for them. And so, yeah, I say I think we should bring up a campaign, bring back the National Sevens.
Mm. Yeah, definitely.
As I say, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, mate. But it's a nice idea. But they seem to be a little bit more all about Silver Lake and the investment in the All Blacks, and it's no longer a representative team. And you know who it's becoming like, Rabs? Hey, Rabs, you know what's becoming like? And you'll know this because you'll feel sorry for me. Jerry Jones. That's what the New Zealand Rugby Union's becoming. Jerry Jones.
And Mike, that is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll just mention the Miami Dolphins are currently 9th in the AFC. They still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and there I believe.
So, with you saying that, all the hype in 2025 will be around this, the Women's World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So, here are the pools. England, Australia, USA, Samoa and Pool A. This has been held in England. Canada, Scotland, Wales, Fiji. That could be a good group to watch. In Pool C, New Zealand will have Ireland, Japan and Spain. Hey,
the
way Spain's been going, I wouldn't discount them. And Pool D, France, Italy, South Africa and Brazil. So basically, you look at that and you go, it's all the sevens teams, but playing 15s. But the reason I'm bringing this up is in all their wisdom, with all the money they have in the world, and they just think of merchandise and thinking of money and thinking of this, can I ask why? And I'm going to get my little mouse, you can see it around the screen here. Why have they now gone and changed the World Cup rugby logo again?
Someone's got too much time on their hands.
Yeah.
At least that, though, for the women, right? That looks like a rugby ball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what I will do now is I'll just undo this down and I'll bring up the men's one. So here is the qualification for the men's one, and I'll just take off our little, what do you call it, thing here so people can see. Oopsie daisy. Rugby World Cup. I'll just blow this up so people can see it. Okay. Here is the new Rugby World Cup men's for 2027 logo. Now, I'll see if I can blow up a bit more. There we go. It just looks like, and I've just clicked on what it looks like. It looks like one of those pharmaceutical logos for aspirin or whatever.
Plus the colours look like something from the 70s as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, wow. You know, I mean, 12 teams, as you can see here. This is straight from the Rugby World Cup Facebook page. The 12 teams have already qualified. So, but there's going to be 12 more, and so 24 teams. So, one team from South Pacific, our South America and the Pacific. But they got here South America, Pacific, and then South America. I think I pulled them up on a typo here. I think that's meant to be North America.
Mm.
Right? So, with, what's their name? No, they have Canada and USA still have to qualify. Africa, we've got the repechage tournament on this weekend with Tunisia, Ghana, Zambia, and somebody else, which is fun to watch. We'll have those on our Rugby Redefined Facebook page. Those games streaming live over the weekend. But the thing is, they're saying all these games. I keep thinking the World Cup's next year because I just want it to come back because I think we were robbed here in New Zealand. But my main point was the logo. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't know why.
Why
Your
change it?
thoughts?
Why change it? Everyone knows what the Rugby World Cup logo looks like.
Yeah. Because the other reason I'm saying that is, and I'll just bring this up again as well, seeing we're in the world of change. Come on, Six Nations. You can do better than that.
Yeah, well,
N6N.
Are they trying to make it like men's Six Nations or something, are they? Is that what it's meant to be?
And then you've got the W6N in a different little colour for the women's. And then you got U2. U216N.
What the hell was that?
The under 21s.
Oh, okay.
A lot of thought went into that. And I look at that and I think it's some TV station in South Africa.
Yeah. Well, it could be
it looks like,
it could be a TV station, actually. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I just think of super sport and all that sort of stuff. But it's sort of like, wow, people. It's sort of, I don't know. And then you've been ignoring your children there, Mike. Dad.
I'll get back to him later.
Fair enough. So, but that's all I had basically in all my little things I had pre-prepared earlier. So as we look forward to what's happening coming up, what is your overall? I'll start with you, Mike. What is your overall 2024 team, club, provincial, international team of the year? And don't say Southern.
Oh, it has to be Mid Canterbury Rugby Union for me, I think.
Okay, and the reason for that?
Oh, because we beat South Canterbury.
That's a fair call. You ended the streak.
Ended the streak.
Rugby? Yeah.
Well,
Righty.
I'm going to go with, and this might surprise you, the USA Eagles. You have a look at, they've suddenly had a change in coaching this year, and all of a sudden, they're competitive, aren't they? And they're beating a few teams, and it's like, maybe they finally got their act. I don't know, but let's just say USA Eagles team of the year, they'll surprise everyone.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with that. They had a great tour of Europe just recently.
Yeah.
And as a segue, the Raptors from Glendale, right, Rugby Town, have pulled out of Super Rugby America.
Yeah.
So there's no American. Yeah.
I think
but what I'm saying is, but the thing is, they've pulled out of that, right? And now these guys who would have been playing sevens or for the Eagles are now available, right?
Yeah,
instead of going to South America and getting their butt kicked in a club team, right?
But see, I'm surprised the Eagles are doing as well as they are with this Major League Rugby thing, right? You ever look back before Major League Rugby, they had there's a lot of teams that aren't in that Major League Rugby, right, that had players in the Eagles quite consistently, right? And they did reasonably well. Again, Major League Rugby is a little bit like Super Rugby. Have a look at the squads. It's full of Kiwis, Aussies, Englishmen. Does it really help the local game? Does it really? The old way where the clubs seem to be semi-amateur, semi-pro, old Mission Bay and San Diego and all these ones that played for years, the Eagles seem to be a bit better. But they have got their act together. I don't know that Major League Rugby is the reason, but they have seemed to improve this year.
Well, you got the Kansas City Blues, you got Belmont Shore, the famous
and
Whalers.
None of them are playing in Major League.
Belmont Shore had a sevens team at the recent Global Sevens.
Yeah, but they don't. And that's what I'm saying. Those clubs used to consistently supply players to the Eagles, and they're not in Major League Rugby.
And then on top of that, in the expansion team last year, Anthem Rugby from Carolina, where our good mate Remo lives, right?
Yeah.
Coached by Alama Iramia. Totally defeated season. They didn't win a game, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
But that whole
full
squad...
of imports, wasn't it? Full of imports, wasn't it? Oh.
No, well, it wasn't meant to be. It was literally created as a pathway for the Eagles.
Didn't happen,
this
though, did
year, it? No, because they brought players in.
Yeah.
Now, next season, they're going straight to the free agents list and are bringing in overseas players to help them. Well, you've already defeated the purpose of the team that was meant to be developing, you know, you're meant to be developing these players for the Eagles. And now you're bringing in your other players. So how does that work? You know? And, of course, we've got no Canadian team at the moment. And where's Canada going? Totally backwards.
Yeah, and that surprises me because when the Eagles were having their trouble there, you know, and weren't doing great, it was the Canadian team that was doing okay. I don't know what happened to the Canadians.
I'll tell you what happened. Young Bill Webb passed away, the owner of the Toronto Arrows.
Yeah.
As soon as he passed away, you know, multi-millionaire, his passion was rugby. He put a ton of money into rugby. And the reports were that after he passed away, the family pulled the pin on all that money going to Canadian rugby.
Yeah, but that's not strictly the case because, I mean, he was... long before he came on the scene, Canadian rugby was reasonably strong. It had been more successful at World Cups than the Americans. It had been tracking to be more successful in these last few years when the Eagles were you know, being baffled by John Mitchell's psycho babble and a few other people. You know, and then suddenly Canada just literally went blip, which was strange because they were always reasonably strong. Shit, they made quarterfinals of World Cups. You know?
They did. Regularly.
Yeah.
So my team of the year is Argentina.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've been knocking it out of the park in the sevens. They've beaten France, South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia this year.
Yeah. And you see, they've got that belief now. They have that belief that, like, when you see them play the All Blacks and South Africa now, they believe they can beat them. The aura's gone, right? And that's well, it's good for world rugby, but that's what it took. It took them to get over that hump.
Yeah.
Right? You look at teams like Scotland. Scotland haven't beaten the All Blacks, and it's like you see them play, and it's just like Argentina, bang, we can do this. We can beat anyone in the world now, bang. Which begs the question is, why is the Jaguares not back in the Super Rugby? They made a final.
Exactly. Yeah, made a final, and they thought, shit, we better get rid of these guys. We can't have them winning it. And that's the only reason.
They might get strong and beat us in the rugby championship. Oh, wait, they did.
I know.
Exactly. All right, fellas, I'm going to have to shoot off. I've got shit to do, so.
Yeah, no, I'll be wrapping this up now anyway. So,
yeah, Merry Christmas and all the rest of it.
Last words, Mike. Sorry?
Last words. Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas, and hope everyone has a restful festive season, and we'll get ready for pre-season in January.
Already?
Yep.
Apparently, we're about 65 days away from Super Rugby starting, so woo, let's have a holiday. ROADIE?
Right. It's a double this year. It's a double this year for 2025. The double is Crusaders, Super Rugby, and Canterbury, the NPC. Thank you very much. Have a good Christmas.
Okay. And I would just like to say, currently working on, later today, the new radio station, Rocket FM, rocket1075.co.nz.
No,
is that the right?
1075.
Have I got that wrong?
Oh, yeah, that's the old
Rocket. Oh, that's the old one, isn't it? Oh, hang on there. I'll just quickly. I've been promoting. I forgot to update the old.
That's all right.
Do that. That's the old one. So I'll just quickly do this and go save, and then go like that. There you go, rocketfm.co.nz. Listen to all the great music around, from Barry Manilow to Duran Duran.
Actually, it's funny you should say that. It's funny you should say that because I've just recorded a metal show with a Duran Duran and a Barry Manilow song in it being covered by heavy metal bands.
I thought you were joking.
No, I'm not kidding you. This Finnish band did a cover of Mandy by Barry Manilow.
I can't wait to hear that.
Well, you've got to hear it, man. It's great. One of the summer specials of metal.
All right. Well, I'll just say to both Mike and Roadie, thanks for joining us in 2024. We won't be back for the rest of the year. We'll be enjoying the sunshine in glorious Wellington. And I suppose go the Phoenix if they can get up over those pricks from Auckland. And so, yeah, Merry Christmas and all that. I'll get you guys to stay on here as we go in the stream. But to everyone that's watched us throughout 2024, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in about a month or so time for start of Super Rugby. So,
up the mighty man of mid.
Merry Christmas. Hey? All right, then.
See you later.
Hey, and